don't need nitrous. What's it for? Oh, anxiety? I'm fine. Oh my god, I'm never gonna see my old teeth again. Whoa! What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kackie, and today is a very special day. I have been gone for so long, you guys, and I'm so sorry, and it is because I have been getting new teeth installed in my face. I have had issues with my teeth for a lot of years, and I will get into that. This is going to be a video entirely about the process behind getting veneers put on your teeth, because that's what I just got done, and it is a pretty intense process that I was prepared for, but I definitely think that I should have probably watched some videos on YouTube about what went into it and kind of like how to mentally prepare myself, because it's not just all sunshine and roses. That said, I'm going to show you guys the kind of before, during, and after. I've shot some different clips here and there to kind of walk you guys through it, and hopefully this starts to answer some of the questions that you guys might have about the process. So, without further ado, guys, let's get into it. I can't tell you how happy I am to be back. Like, I haven't even been in my office proper for more than like 5 minutes since I shot my last video, and that's really freaking sad to me because I put a lot of time and energy into this room, which you can't tell because I'm just in front of like a turquoise wall. I'm gonna do like an updated house tour with the progress so far and stuff. I've been kind of wanting to get it to like a natural stopping point, but I don't think that that's gonna be possible. I'm gonna be working on this house for years, so I might as well update you guys as I go. Let me know in the comments below if that's something that you guys would be interested in. Just, you know, say, yeah, I want to see your house, cool, or no, I don't care. So let's begin at the beginning here, guys. I have had a lot of dental work in the past. I had braces as a kid, and I have always been a teeth grinder at night, and so I've been wearing a night guard for probably, what year? How old am I? I would say 10 years at least. I've been wearing a guard that goes down to my bottom teeth that keeps me from breaking my teeth down because I'm like grinding like a crazy person at night. Then years later, my front teeth that I'm still getting used to, guys. I know it's a lot more teeth this way, not so much this way, same amount of teeth, but just they're longer, and so like forgive me as I'm kind of like learning how to navigate them. I just got them like a few days ago. I had far shorter teeth in the front because basically my molars had been worn down to like nothing on top, and they were super duper sensitive, and they had like 11 fillings on the top, between the top and the bottom. I had made it so that my front teeth were what took most of the impact when I chewed, and so I was going to the dentist all the time and getting kind of these temporary like little caps put on the front of them, not like the front, but like it's called composite. It's what they use to do fillings, and it's basically plastic, and it doesn't play well with your teeth over time. I was about every year or every like 10 months having to go back in and do what I called my tooth manicure, which is, you know, they would just rebuild it, recontour them, and then I would just like buy myself some time essentially. But they were constantly making me anxious because it was like they were, anytime I'd accidentally hit my tooth with a cup or something like that, a little bit would chip off. And it was just like, you know, I'm 30 years old, like I don't have the rest of my life to just be sitting here waiting for my teeth to chip away. Like it was really starting to like wear on my nerves. I probably knew like back the first time that I got my teeth kind of rebuilt in the front, I was like, ultimately someday I'm gonna have to just get new teeth. Like they've just been so brittle, the enamel is so weak, they stained so easily, and of course that's just an aesthetic thing, that's like a cosmetic convenience thing, but it is kind of like a sign of an underlying issue, which is that my teeth were really porous and that they just kind of didn't have a lot of their own strength. And it runs in my family. My mom has kind of the same kind of situation where her teeth kind of like are see-through. That's exactly what mine were. I was like, why are my teeth so yellow? They're like, it's not that they're yellow, it's that they're so thin that they're see-through. And I was like, well, that seems bad, right? You know? But everybody that I went to, dentist-wise, discouraged me. They were like, you don't want to do veneers. That's so expensive. That's what they would always say to me. Like, it's just so expensive. And I was like, yeah, but like what we're talking about here is like my life, you know? This is like my teeth, like I use them all day, every day. This is not something where I'm just gonna like go cut rate on my teeth. Coming up on my next appointment to go and have everything just kind of like redone in the front and everything, which, you know, it costs like $200 or something to just go ahead and get, basically, like, my insurance covers a little bit of it because technically, like, it can be written off as fillings, but all of just the front 6 teeth would just get this teeny tiny bit of composite put on them. I was just in this cycle in my head of like, I have to do something about this long term. And so I was coming up on my appointment to get that redone in July, and I was like, you know what? I'm 30. There's no time like the present. I've been going through a lot of I'm 30, there's no time like the present kind of thought processes lately, honestly. So I did some searching on the old interwebs, and I actually used to work for Yelp. I do trust Yelp reviews. I know that there's a lot of shade around Yelp, but I do trust them. So I went on Yelp and I was looking at all of the reviews on people who did dentists, not people in their garages, dentists who did veneers, porcelain veneers. And I didn't know exactly what I was looking for at first, but what I found was a dentist office here in Austin called the Cosmetic Dentists of Austin. How about that? They had absolutely 5-star reviews across the board. Everybody on their site was so freaking happy with their teeth when they got done. There were so many before and after photos that were just like obviously life-changing. And so I was thinking that it was going to be something where I was going to go in and talk to them about it, find out that it wasn't really for me, or kind of try and find some sort of stopgap. You know what I mean? Like just do the front 6 or something like that, because I thought it was purely a cosmetic issue. And thank God that they are such incredibly diligent doctors. They said, you know what, this is more than just your teeth breaking off in the front. It's the fact that your bite is completely wrong. My back teeth weren't touching each other, and so anytime I chewed, all the impact was on my front teeth, and that's not what they're for. That's why they were breaking off. They're like, so if we give you veneers, you're just gonna break the veneers off. Like, it would take a lot longer for sure, but that's a lot of money to spend for us not to correct what's really wrong. They have what's called a last time you pay policy. So basically I was making sure that the money that I did spend on them, anything that ever happens, even if I get in an accident and it's obviously not their fault, then they will still replace my veneers for the rest of my life. I went into the office after doing a lot of research, and I can't say enough about the experience. Like, it was just so amazingly like welcoming and warm, and everyone there was just so like real and encouraging and down to earth, and told me every possible outcome and things like that that were going to happen. But I also was just like really pumped, you know? And so I had to actually borrow money to do this. Like, it isn't something where I just had like that kind of money to just like lay down on it. But at the same time, to me, this is investing in my health, because my teeth were just, they were shot. And so it was something that needed to happen sooner or later. I was gonna have to take the money out anyway. And so I got a very low interest, like, medical loan in order to do this, because I'm in a position where I can do that. Not everybody's in a position where they can do that, but I happen to be in a time in my life where that's something that makes sense for me. And this was a priority for me. It was just something that I really knew that I needed to do. It was something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. Yes, it's a vanity measure, but at the same time, I now have molars again. So keep that in mind. So the process of getting veneers takes place over like 4 appointments, and it's taken place over about a month. So the first appointment was a very in-depth consultation. I don't even think that that counts as the appointment, it's just a consultation, basically. The second one is a dental cleaning, where they go in and they basically just make sure that you're ready, and you know, you don't have any, like, obviously they want to make sure your teeth are clean before they start doing anything else. So they do that. They take a ton of impressions, like a ton of impressions. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I did an Instagram story where there's like a box with my name on it, and it's just full of impressions, just all these like rubberized molds of my teeth. And the absolute like thoroughness of this process started to give me a lot of faith in it. I mean, I already knew it was going to be great. I mean, they kept apologizing, like, sorry, we have to do more impressions. Sorry, we have to do more impressions. Like, honestly, I take heart in the amount of impressions you guys are doing, because I know that all of that is just like you guys trying to get the details exactly right. So then, the whole idea of it is that the next 2 appointments are, 1, preps your teeth. Prepping your teeth is terrifying. I repeat, prepping your teeth is terrifying. I will get to it in a second, but it's terrifying. That's the biggest, hardest part of this. And they put temporaries on while the lab is making your porcelains. So these are like complete covers of every single one of my teeth. It goes front to back, all the way up above the gum line, and that is a very special scientific process, that there is a lab that they rely on that does the actual designing of the teeth so that they fit my teeth perfectly, they slide in, they just cure it, it's gorgeous. When it's done, it's done. These are bonded to my teeth, so these are my teeth now. There used to be no process for that, apparently. The consultation dentist basically told me that like things like lumineers, which are just kind of fronts for your teeth that don't require prep, and the older style of veneers, you could remove them. They could pop off if you did the wrong thing, or they had to be replaced every 30 years or something like that. And a lot of times still, that's what people come concerned with in these consultations is, yeah, I'm spending a bucket of money, and it is a bucket of money to get this done. How long is it gonna last? You know what I mean? Like, how am I gonna have to do this again in 10 years? Like, I don't wanna do that, you know what I mean? So, A, they have the last time you pay policy, but B, this guy was like, actually, honestly, these are just teeth. Like, we are just giving you new teeth. These are going to be completely seamlessly bonded to your teeth. If we ever needed to change them or replace them, we would have to re-prep your teeth because these aren't veneers, they are teeth. And so that kind of gave me a little bit more faith in the process because I was like, okay, like this is something that is absolutely top of the line. This is like right now, 2017, best thing I can get. That said, the first appointment where they put in your temporaries. Temporaries are I've read online a lot of different places, they're like, the temporaries are supposed to be very aesthetic. They're going to look exactly like the teeth that you end up with in your head. Not at all. They are something that is just made to be a protector for your teeth after they have been prepped. And you wear them for about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks in my case, and it is the longest 2.5 weeks of my life because A, I was getting used to big, white, long teeth that I had never had in my life. They're a lot bulkier than regular teeth because it's actually made out of plastic. It's one piece of plastic, so no, you cannot floss. It is just one hunk, and they say, oh, you know, they look very good. Like from far away, nobody can really tell, and everybody that I talked to was like, I can't even tell. Like they look great. And I was like, I am aware of them 24/7. Like I cannot forget that these stupid things are in my mouth, mainly because the bite on them wasn't quite right, and they're not going to do a ton of work on the bite because they're temporary. Like there's no point kind of going in and like getting a bunch of like long-term permanent changes done to them because they're supposed to be just a stopgap while they're making your veneers in the lab. And so I couldn't chew. I couldn't chew at all. Like I could not bite down on food. So I was on smoothies and soup and yogurt and ice cream and things like that for the last 2.5 weeks before I got my final veneers put in. And that starts to wear on you a little bit. I will be honest, if you know my history, you know that like I have struggled with an eating disorder in the past, and I have no problem talking about that. I'm sorry if that's kind of like awkward for some people to hear, but it's just something that I feel I'm an open book about talking about. So I was afraid actually that going on a liquid diet was going to make me lose weight and like get really pumped about it. You know what I mean? Kind of get that like renewed sort of like spark of like, well, I mean, I guess all I have to do is just stay on a liquid diet and I'll just get skinny and stay skinny and look how skinny I am and how much fun is this? It's so easy. Oh, all of my worries were completely in vain because I could not wait to get food in my mouth. Oh my God. Like, as soon as these things happen, they're like, be gentle with them the first day. I'm just like, give me the food, give me all the food. I want to chew the food. Give me the food. And so I have been just chowing down on things lately. I just, been having like pizza and popcorn and stuff like that. I've just been like finally able to chew since I got these. So I would say that 2.5 weeks was really difficult. It's a huge adjustment getting used to something that's so front and center on your face, changing, and especially changing and knowing that it's not permanent and that like you don't really know what the permanent situation is going to look like, but you know it's going to be better and you want to trust these people, but you're the one who can't chew. For 2.5 weeks you can't chew, and so it's just like it's something that I could not stop thinking about the entire time. Also, prepping your teeth. Don't let anybody sugarcoat this, you guys. When they're prepping your teeth, they have to make your teeth smaller because they're putting a crown around the entire tooth, and so they have to make room for it. so that you don't just end up with these like bulky, kind of like built out bucky situations in your face, so that they actually look like real teeth. They have to kind of make room for them. I didn't really do the full calculus of that in my brain before I went in, and they're like, yeah, we're just gonna be prepping your teeth. Everything happening inside of your mouth when you're in a dentist chair sounds like the apocalypse. I know that they did not take that much surface off of my teeth because I didn't have that much to begin with, and they didn't want to expose nerves or anything like that. These guys know exactly what they're doing. I am going to show you guys pictures, but I will not show you a picture of what it looks like when my teeth are prepped because I haven't seen those pictures. I was very specific going into it. I said I'm going to be making a video. I want to be able to show people kind of like what everything looks like. I never want to have a mental image of my teeth shaved down. And they're like, it's not shaved down, it's just prepared. And I was like, I don't want that mental image. Sorry, I don't want it. I just want everything to just be in the dark about that. I don't need nightmare fuel of my teeth being little things, little sticks or pegs or whatever. If you want to see it, Google it. It's weird. I don't want to see that on my face. Like, I just don't want to see me with little like spiky dinosaur teeth. Like, I don't. So that is probably the biggest thing that was the hardest to overcome about it, because you're sitting there in a chair for, oh yeah, 4 hours while they sit there and grind your teeth. Not all the way down, obviously, but it sounds like it. It sounds like they're taking a bandsaw to your teeth. It is so terrifying, and I am not an afraid of the dentist person. I will say that I went in there probably a little too cocky. I was like, I don't need nitrous. What's it for? Oh, anxiety? I'm fine. And then like, I start to hear like, nyar, 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 and I'm like, I'm fine. And then I was like, nyar, nyar, nyar. Oh my God, I'm never gonna see my old teeth again. That was like that like cataclysmic, like dawning moment where I said, I never liked my old teeth, but now there's no going back, and my stomach just went, and I was like, nitrous, give me all the nitrous. And so they did, they gave me all the nitrous, and nitrous is awesome. I don't get high, I'm not that person, but I think that they should give nitrous to people who are afraid of flying. I think that nitrous is kind of awesome, because for most people like me who just function on a ball of nerves all the time, that nitrous just kind of like knocks the edge off of it. You're still aware of what's going on. They call it laughing gas. I'm not that susceptible to it. I did, however, on the second procedure, start with the nitrous. I was like, give me it. I know I want it this time. And they're playing all of these, like they're called escapes. It's like this channel that just runs beautiful landscapes for you to look at, and with music and stuff, with like, you know, kind of oldies that are just kind of unoffensive, and you know, these beautiful landscapes. And so I remember looking at it, and it said something about it was a place in Michigan, and I was like, oh, that's so pretty. What the fuck is a Michigan? Michigan. Who thought of that? Those are the kinds of freaking like shower thoughts that you have when you're under nitrous, and it's kind of a peaceful place, you know? So that was the prepping situation, and I could feel the distance between the temps and my actual prepped teeth. That was probably the most unnerving part. Turns out when I got the temporaries taken back off to get the final veneers put on, they had a really hard time taking them off because they were so bonded to my teeth. Like, they had done a really good job of gluing them down. I was paranoid the entire time that those things were going to pop off and I was going to have to see what the crap was under there, and I didn't want to do that. And so I was so gentle with them. They were like, you probably could have eaten anything you wanted. Like, these things aren't going anywhere. So I know that they did their due diligence, but I was the like paranoid freakazoid who also had some serious pain around it. So the main thing that happens with them that I notice is that temperature causes them to kind of like flex. So cold on that plastic causes them to just like shrink up to your teeth, which is the strangest feeling in the world. And then if you drink something hot, like you can feel the sensitivity in your teeth, but you feel kind of the plastic recede again. It's just so hard to get used to. It was something that was just, if you guys were watching my Instagram stories, you know I was like counting down. I was calling it like fake plastic teeth countdown. Like I couldn't handle them. They were just like too much for me. And so I will say that's the hardest part of the process, but is it worth it? Absolutely. If you go to the right doctor, they are going to guide you through the process. These people, I was having like a crisis because this is just who I am. And I'm like emailing the office being like, I don't like how these look, like about the temporaries, like how much does this actually reflect how the final ones are going to look? Like, do I need to tell the dentist my feedback, something like that? These people would email me back multiple times a day like a girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like the girl, one of the nurses in the front office would like actually email me back and forth all day long, show me pictures of her before and after when she got hers done, tell me all about kind of like her emotions and her feelings and everything about it and how she totally understands where I'm coming from. There was no like me being blown off. Like they totally get that this is an enormous change and that yes, it's going to be a very positive change, but if you can't make it through the middle part, then like, what's the point? You know what I mean? They want you to have a really positive experience the whole way through. And so I really feel like I chose the right freaking doctor. And before I talk about kind of the final process, I'm gonna go ahead and stick some footage in right here that is basically the morning right before I went in to get the final ones done. And I kind of give you guys an up close look at the temporaries. I am in traffic, don't judge me. It was very slow traffic. I was just trying to do it on my way there because I was in a big hurry. I was not endangering my life. I did not have my phone in any kind of compromised area. Don't do this at home. Just like, you know, it's not something that I normally do. So anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a look at it and I will shoot that in right here.
Good morning, guys. I am in my car right now, stuck in traffic on the way to my cosmetic dentist's office, and I just wanted you guys to see the last of these guys before I go and get my final teeth this morning. I have not been on camera for 2.5 weeks. I also have not eaten solid food in 2.5 weeks because I just feel like it took a really long time to get used to these. I am used to them now, but I like...
Turn left onto Southwest Parkway.
Okay, I will, thank you. My teeth have been so unbelievably sensitive for the last 2.5 weeks that I've just been on like soup and smoothies. Every time I try and chew, my teeth ache for like hours afterwards. I've just been kind of like, you know, keeping Aleve or ibuprofen like within arm's reach because it's just been a really kind of trying situation. Plus, I can't wear my night guard that I use to not grind my teeth at night. And typically that keeps my teeth from kind of like shifting and aching, and I've been wearing that. So I was really self-conscious about how these looked at first, but yeah, I wanted you guys to at least see them one time in action before I go get the real ones put on. So I'm about to go in for like 3 or 4 hours of dental work right now. This is like not a small undertaking, but yeah, that's them. They're a little crazy, but that's them.
And so then I went in there and I was there for about 3.5 hours to get the final veneers put on, and the first thing that they do is they try and get the temporaries off. When I say try, I mean, I think that they were actually supposed to all pop off in one piece, but mine were bonded on so much. Like I really thought I was gonna be able to kind of like take them home as a souvenir. Like, this is what was in my mouth for 2.5 weeks. Isn't it weird? It looks like my teeth. But like that didn't happen. They had to shatter that thing. Like it was glued on in so many places. They had to grind down the glue and stuff like that. And so I was on nitrous. They were having hilarious conversations, him and the dental tech or whatever. They were cracking me up. I think that whole experience was just really pleasant. And so I got the temporaries off, and then they just kind of clean everything off your teeth, get the rest of the cement off, and then they just kind of like place the veneers on each tooth. They kind of like, you know, any place that they need to kind of like fit a little bit better as my teeth have moved and things like that during the last 2.5 weeks. Then, you know, they just make minor adjustments. They barely had to do anything. Everything was done so well. They just kind of stuck onto my tooth. They stuck each one onto my teeth, and then they just put a mirror up in front of me, and they're like, hey, how do you like it? What do you think? And I think that this tooth right here was just a little bit like long on one end, and that was it. And I was like, yeah, just fix that and then we'll be fine. And so then you sign some paperwork that says that you're giving them your permission to seat the veneers, which means like they're going in, they're permanent. And then they put this stuff around your gums, which mine haven't completely recovered yet either, so they're gonna keep kind of improving. They put this stuff around your gums that temporarily makes your gums recede. And the idea behind that is that they want to make sure that the veneer connects all the way up to your teeth, not just down below your gum. So it's like they want to make, it's like pushing your cuticles back, you know what I mean? Like, so they basically just like lift the gum up chemically, and they place the veneer really high up all the way so it covers your entire tooth, and then when the gums come back down, there's like no, not that there would be a seam, but there definitely is no seam. It just gives them more room to work. And so that is kind of awesome because that means like, yeah, this is all, it's my tooth. Like I'm never gonna have that thing where you start to see something like darkening around an edge that you would with like a fake tooth or a lumineer or something. Like I'm never gonna have that like purple gum situation or anything. Like these are all completely like bonded to my tooth all the way up into my skull. The weird part of getting this done is that I can't have epinephrine. I can't have an anesthetic. I got like hair stuck to my nose. I'm sorry that I keep scratching my nose. I can't have epinephrine. Epinephrine is basically artificial adrenaline, and what it does for anesthesia is it makes the anesthesia happen more quickly, bleed less, and it makes it metabolize more slowly. And so that way they can inject you like once for the whole procedure and you're good, you're numb, you're fine, you know? I can't have that. It sends me into like this crazy like full body panic attack, and well, I mean that's what adrenaline is. It is like, you know, the same thing that happens with your fight or flight mode, and what it does is just sends me into like an acute fight or flight reaction, and I have had it in the past and I don't want it again. So basically the problem with that is that they have to keep giving me anesthesia like over and over and over again, because they'll be working for about 20 minutes or so and I'll be like, I can feel that, and it gets to be a little laborious. They were so patient with me, but like if I had to get up and go to the bathroom, it would all metabolize and they would have to just start over. So like most people would get done with it and they'd probably be able to just like, you know, denumb, smile, be really happy, but I had a lot of swelling right here because they kept having to they just shred it. Not because they're bad people, but like having to do those kinds of injections over and over and over again over the course of like 3.5 hours, it shredded my upper lip and I just reacted to it. By the time I left there, I was like numb up to my eyeballs. It was ridiculous. That was one of the like small inconveniences of it. But I will say that by the time I saw my final teeth, which you can see now, I've been waiting for this to heal up here before I whiten these. They gave me whitener. These are my actual like regular teeth. There's nothing really wrong with these guys. I just need to whiten them. And I'm gonna have to continue to whiten them to kind of get them to stay as white as this, but these will never stain. And that's pretty cool. They're super, super durable. They're awesome. When I got done, I was super pleased with them. I do feel like when I look in the mirror, they look like they could have grown there. And I like that a lot about them. My boyfriend really likes them. That's another perk. And I'm going to, over the course of the next few weeks, get used to them. My face is going to get used to them because I did eventually get used to the temporaries. I got to where I actually kind of liked them. The other thing that's pretty cool about this, and it's something that I totally didn't anticipate, because they opened my bite up in the back, because these molars are actually taller and my teeth don't have to go as far in order to touch one another, it actually like elongated my jaw a little bit and made my cheekbones a little bit more prominent, which is like awesome. Like who doesn't want that? So I'm just generally pleased with the whole situation. Someday I might end up doing my bottom teeth. I don't know. We'll see how the whitening goes and things like that. I also know that my molars were way worse on the top than the bottom because that was where I wore the night guard, so they were protected for a lot of years. I'm going to be getting a new night guard in about 3 weeks that fits these top ones. I'm gonna stick some footage in right here of me right after the procedure, and you guys can see the puffiness and things like that. I did send a bunch of really awesome, like ugly selfies to my coworkers being like, guys, I think I'm gonna work from home because it looked crazy. I did just end up going in the next day. I was totally fine. But yeah, so let's cut to that.
What's up, guys? This is hilarious, but I want you to see the full experience. So I just got done and the nitrous just wore off. So like I had to kind of like sit and like drink a protein shake afterwards and stuff like that, and just kind of like they give you pure oxygen up your nose so that you kind of like recirculate and get like your brain back in order. I'm drooling. You can see they are whiter than my bottom teeth, but they gave me whitener for my bottom teeth. They are absolutely gorgeous. My gums are really, really mad. Basically, like, they just told me my gums are gonna be, literally the doctor said your gums are gonna be pissed off. I can't wait for everything to just like chill and relax. But I wanted to give you guys kind of like, look at me. I'm a ball of nerves. Even if I'm like in my head, I don't think I'm a ball of nerves. My body is like a ball of nerves. So, yeah, I'm just like flushing on my chest right now. I think it's probably because there's people walking around, and I think that I'm nervous that they're looking at me with my like chipmunk face talking to my phone. I don't know. There's more of you guys on that side than there are people around me. So, but yeah, this is only supposed to last a couple of hours, and like the swelling. and I should be okay by tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, and so I will be going into the office. I drooled all over myself because they have this thing that holds your mouth open and it's like kind of rubberized, and so everything's numb. You don't have a lot of control over your like salivation. And so I thought that I was gonna come out with my makeup looking like garbage, but actually it stood up pretty okay. Like, I'm pretty impressed. I'm trying to think of like what details I should share with you guys. My doctor looks like Lord Baelish.
So yeah, as you can see, I had some serious like puffage going on. It did take a little minute for that to go down, but I think that that's the other perk of the temporaries, is that you freak out a lot less about kind of like how weird you look right afterwards, because you're like, oh, it's all gonna get normal. Like, if I could get used to the temporaries, I can definitely adjust to these. So all in all, guys, I want you to maybe ask me more questions if you have them. I'm an open book about this kind of stuff. If you want to know about the cost, just direct message me. I will be an open book about that too, but it's just not something I want to put directly on my channel. And I will put a link to those dentists below. Not that any of you guys live in Austin. I don't know if you do, or if this is something that you're interested in, but it's not sponsored or anything. I just think that they did great work. So I'm gonna go ahead and just throw them a little link down there. I am hoping that this helped you guys kind of understand a bit better what the process is like of getting veneers. I did get them all the way to the back. Most people just do the front 10 teeth just for aesthetic purposes. So I mean, understand too that my process was probably a lot more in depth and a little bit more like rougher on my body and rougher on my on the time that it takes and things like that. It was probably a little more extreme than some people's situation. And so, you know, just kind of weigh that against what you have as your expectations. But all that said, if you guys like this, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. If you want to keep hanging out with me and my new teeth, then go ahead and hit that button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you did. Keep hanging out with me. We have a lot of fun here. So, yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you so much. Thank you for being patient with me while I was going through this. And I can't wait to get back to making lots of videos for you guys. So, yeah, as always, I love you, and I will talk to you as soon as possible. Bye!